Good evening, I'm Dennis Ward. Welcome to APTN National News. Within days of her picture being made public, we now know who the woman is that was found deceased in a Winnipeg hotel a year ago. Her name is Melanie McKay. McKay's name was released by the Mama Wichita Center with few details. Last week, a press conference was held at the center where Winnipeg police said a body was discovered in the stairwell of the Manwin Hotel on August 10th, 2024. Winnipeg police said it was not a criminal matter, only they had hoped to get connected to family. She was also gifted the name Mashkode Biziki'ikwe Ibon, or Buffalo Woman. It is the same name that was given to Ashley Shingoose, one of 4 First Nation women slain by a Winnipeg serial killer before her identity was known. A Mama-Way spokesperson said the family had connected with the center within 48 hours of the sketch being shared. APTN sources say McKay is from the Island Lake region in northern Manitoba. The Manitoba government says they will begin searching the Brady Road landfill just south of Winnipeg for the remains of 2 First Nations women. They will first search for Ashley Shingoose, then Tanya Neepanak. Neepanak is believed to have been murdered by a serial killer in 2011, but charges were stayed in 2013 due to a lack of evidence. Her aunt Sue Caribou has been advocating tirelessly for missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and Two-Spirit since Neepanak's disappearance. Reporter Sav Jones spoke with her earlier today.
I'm here at the Brady Road landfill with Sue Caribou, the aunt of Tanya Neepanak, who the Manitoba government has recently announced they will search for in the Brady Road landfill. Sue, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm wondering, the Manitoba government has committed to searching for your niece, Tanya Neepanak, in the Brady Road landfill. Can you tell us what you're doing here today?
I came here to sing some songs for my loved one, Tanya, because we used to sing together, and I wanted to share the good news with her that Auntie Mom did it, that I fought over a decade, and I said, you knew I wouldn't give up on you, my girl. You know me. And they're gonna come here and they're gonna search for you, my girl. That's the news I wanted to share with her. They're gonna search for her. And this time, don't give up till you bring both of the family's loved ones home. Don't leave human remains in trash.
You mentioned this a bit, but it's been 14 years since Tanya was murdered in 2011. That's a long time to wait for a search to begin, and I know you were advocating for her this entire time. How does it feel now that this search is beginning?
I am very grateful that they're finally gonna search for her, because the day she went missing, me and my sister knew. You know your loved one, when they tell you they're going to come home, they come home. No matter how many years it's been, it still hurts. It still hurts. It gets harder every year. Like, you start having no faith, no hope, and I continue to pray to have that faith in our people, to search for our loved ones and bring them home, They haven't mentioned Tanya for a long time. Now it's here, and I pray it's gonna be, she'll be coming home.
Sue, if and when they find Tanya's remains in the Brady Road landfill, do you hope a new investigation into her murder will begin?
Yeah, but the main thing is the closure for my family. The closure If they bought her home, I'd be jigging on Main and Portage all around there. I don't care if there's traffic, but that'll be the happiest day. I'm gonna go to Main and Portage and do a jig. No more broken promises. We've been through a lot of broken promises. And I still have faith in our Creator, even with all those broken promises. Maybe this time they'll make up for the broken promises. But I wish they would contact us when there's a press conference, or if they're going to talk about Tanya. I want to be there.
Sue, as you said, faith is a very powerful thing. So I hope that you continue to hold on to that. And we'll have to end our conversation here, okay? But thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sav and Sue. To British Columbia now, where the RCMP is trying to explain the context of an incident in Port Alberni after a video was posted over the weekend showing an officer beating a suspect during an arrest. The video was viewed and shared hundreds of thousands of times on social media, and a warning: the images in this video are disturbing.
Hey, we see you!
The video shows two RCMP officers attempting to arrest a 33-year-old man in an alley on Sunday. One Mountie can be seen striking the man with his knee, elbow, and fist multiple times. Residents can be heard yelling at the officer to stop and control his anger. In a statement to APTN News, Inspector Kim Bruce defends the officer's actions and provided context, saying last Sunday RCMP were called to a local business to remove the man who was unwanted. When RCMP arrived on scene, they learned the man may have breached a release order. He ran down an alley and the RCMP chased him. In a statement, they added, it is alleged that the suspect then assaulted the police officer who had caught up to him, and a physical struggle ended up on the ground with the suspects keeping his hands underneath his body. During the suspect's arrest, police observed a sharp object in the suspect's hands, and he was not complying with his arrest. Police had to use force to gain compliance and prevent further injuries. The RCMP did not say if any injuries were sustained from the arrest, and in the video, the officer can be seen taking an unknown item from the suspect and throwing it away before getting up. Inspector Bruce added, the video does not show the much needed context prior to the arrest. The criminal code provides us with the authority to use force, and it is not something we take lightly. The man was arrested and awaits his next court appearance. Demonstrators rallied outside of the Métis Nation Saskatchewan's provincial Métis Council meeting today at the Dakota Dunes Casino south of Saskatoon. There have been a series of rallies following the recent M&S election. Those outside could be heard inside the meeting, with M&S officials referring to the protesters as distracting. A number of elected officials were not part of the provincial Métis Council meeting, including two elected women who have still not been sworn in over allegations they harassed the CEO. Kathy Pruden-Ansel was one of those demonstrating outside.
We have two democratically elected regional representatives that are no longer or currently not allowed to be at the table, and that's from this fluffy harassment allegation, which I was found guilty and I believe impacted my ability to be successful in the election. And now they've removed the two other ones from the table, so their citizens aren't represented in the meeting today.
Nobody has ever approached me to be negative to me in person. But Facebook warriors, they'll say anything they want, but they'll never say it in my face, even at the assembly. So all the stories that we hear and the spirit of how I carry myself is based on what I hear from our people. To give me the spirit and the boost to be able to continue doing this job. And for you to continue doing your job, remember the ballot box. Those are the true people you represent.
The Métis Nation British Columbia has suspended its president. The move comes less than 1 year after Walter Minot was elected to the position. A statement from MNBC's executive committee says over the course of Mr. Minot's tenure, the executive committee received complaints about behavior inconsistent with our policies, and the public also brought information forward to the executive for consideration. As a result, we had a duty to act in the best interests of MNBC and our citizens. The statement says the move protects the integrity and reputation of the nation. An independent review will be launched to look into Minot's time as president. The executive says those results will be made public. Melanie Allard has been appointed acting president. During Minot's time as president, MNBC withdrew from the Métis National Council. A chief in northern Manitoba has declared a state of emergency because his community is facing a water crisis. Pimachikamak Cree Nation Chief David Monias says the current system is decades old and beyond repair. He's calling for a new water treatment facility, a modern sewer system, and safe underground piping. Monias said that Canada has promised funding for Pimachikamak's water system, but political delays are stalling the process. In a written statement, the chief says the issue is a basic human right. It reads in part, the federal government must honor its responsibility and act now. When you talk of projects of national interest, then deal with this one first. Our people should not have to beg for clean water in 2025. In 2016, the former Trudeau government promised clean drinking water in every Canadian household by 2030. There are major concerns over upcoming government cuts to Indigenous Services Canada, and one Grand Chief thinks Bill C-5 might have something to do with it. That interview and more still to come. Welcome back. Bill C-5 has been contested by First Nations across the country, but some First Nations in Quebec are also taking action to denounce the bill. Ganawage Grand Chief Cody Daibo is from the Mohawk First Nation, located just south of the island of Montreal. He joins us to discuss his involvement in contesting the bill. Grand Chief, thanks so much for taking some time for us here. What's been your involvement so far in contesting Bill C-5?
Well, we've sent some correspondence to Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, as well. I did attend the C5 forum that was in Ottawa, July 17th, in which when I finally had an opportunity to speak, I relayed my disappointment with the whole engagement. Or event, I'll say, won't even really say engagement, because there was very little engagement, and then I had walked out. And just our own correspondence as well, that's been our involvement to date so far.
I had a chance to speak with the Prime Minister and asked him about the summit. He said it was basically a resounding success. I guess your thoughts on how the government has been moving forward with Bill C-5?
Well, clearly then they didn't really take what I was saying into consideration if they say it was a resounding success, because I have heard multiple people had stood up at that event with, we'll say, objections to how everything was rolling out. You know, and I wonder if it would have been a success had they mentioned all the funding cuts that they're announcing over the next 3 years. So. Yeah,
lots of cuts, it seems, coming to Indigenous Services Canada, other programs. We've heard you're proposing tolls that go through your territory in response to federal cuts. What can you tell us about those?
Well, we're going to be probably putting out some requests for proposals very soon. We're just looking at sort of the scope, assessing what type of tolls, maybe assessing the amounts. Obviously, we want to make sure little inconvenience to our community as possible. However, having the major infrastructures come through our territory and potentially even expanding that, does that mean the CP rail? That means the Seaway? Who knows, but right now we'll start with the vehicle traffic, which amounts to about 120,000 vehicles a day, as well as different materials that cross through the territory. Kahnawake is the only place sort of south of Montreal, we'll say, or Tiohtià:ke, that's a hazardous corridor. So different materials are acceptable to pass through our territory, I guess, because of low population density and whatnot. So yeah, those things are still to come. And I mean, all these cuts are a response to that. I mean, we're already severely underfunded as it is as First Nations communities, but then having more cuts, we're already hearing some things from community members from what they've heard in terms of like wills and estates. Those services are being drastically reduced at ISK. So that's going to be a further backlog of those type of files that our community members are going to have to deal with. So these are just some of the things that we're hearing only now of the effects of the funding cuts. As well, I mean, we do know as well, Jordan's principle itself is on hold as well because of Canada's improper usage, we'll say, of it, or approval methods that they were doing with it. So again, First Nations people have to suffer because Canada dropped the ball on it. So.
Just quickly here, Grand Chief, like you say, you're still finding out about some of these cuts, but what do you think the impact will be on First Nations in Quebec? Well,
it's hard to say. I mean, in Quebec itself, it's very difficult as well, with Quebec pushing a lot of their language laws that are impacting First Nations communities. Kahnawake is predominantly English-speaking, we'll say, as well as our own language, Kahnawake. So having French language is imposed on us even further is going to further problems. And I just go back to Indigenous Services Canada halting Jordan's principle. A lot of our students were relying on those funds for tutoring. As well, it's very difficult for students to find English schools that maybe help or are better suited to deal with their learning disabilities. So definitely on all these fronts, all these funding things getting cut. And I have no other choice but to link it to our opposition to C5. Is this a way just to force us into submission on this bill? Because they're going to be leaving us no choice but cutting all the funding and then having to accept projects that go through our territories and all that, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get funding to sustain all these different challenges.
Yep, interesting point there, Grand Chief. Unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there, but do appreciate you taking some time for us.
Okay, no, thank you for having me.
The Clecho are celebrating a major milestone. We'll bring you that story after the break. Welcome back. Time now for our photo of the day. The sun sets on another day in Big Grassy First Nation. And our regular viewer, Carl Zig Tuesday, gets a big shout out from Lana Tuesday and their guard dog Copper at Zig's place. Send us your photos to share at aptn.ca for the chance to be our next photo of the day. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the East Coast, cloudy and 21 in Fredericton, cloud and 22 for Halifax. Cloudy and 9 in Kuujjuaq, sunny and 12 for Nain. 22 in Montreal, sun's out and 17 in Val-d'Or. Sunny and 23 for Sault Ste. Marie, 22 under sunny skies for Ottawa. 16 in Thunder Bay, sun's out and 20 in Sioux Lookout. Cloudy and 17 for Norway House and God's Lake. 25 in Winnipeg, 20 and cloudy in Dauphin. Sunny and 31 in Saskatoon, 26 under the sun for North Battleford, 18 in Meadow Lake, 13 in La Ronge. In northern Alberta, rain and 17 in High Level, sunny and 14 for Fort Chipewyan. 27 under sunny skies for Edmonton, 30 with the sun out in Medicine Hat. 19 in Vancouver, a sunny high of 22 for Kamloops. 19 and sunny in Prince George, showers and 9 in Dease Lake. 9 in Old Crow, rain and 14 for Whitehorse. 16 with showers in Yellowknife, 17 in Norman Wells. 6 in Sax Harbor, 10 with rain for Pawlatuck. 13 in Chesterfield and Baker Lake, 10 for Whale Cove. 5 in Resolute, 6 in Igloo Lake. The Clecho government have wrapped up a week-long celebration of the 20th anniversary of the Clecho Agreement. Video journalist Bruce Dela Cruz was on the ground to capture the events.
Clecho citizens from across the Northwest Territories were in Bechico to celebrate the signing of the Clecho Agreement.
We're celebrating the 20th anniversary of our land claims settlement since 2005. It's always been a vision of the vision of our elders, the 4 elders that negotiate our land claims along with the negotiators. And we carry the message forward, respecting their wishes, and also a dream come true for them as well.
Clecho Grand Chief Jackson Lafferty led the 6th Clecho Assembly, the governing body of the Clecho government. Clecho departments gave their annual reports on housing, education, and land-based programs. With the politics going on inside, family activities were going on outside. Food and craft vendors, drum dances, and a talent show. Nomination for the next Grand Chief of Clecho government was held on Friday, August 15th. Jackson Lafferty was nominated to run again. Former Bechico Chief Clifford Daniels was also nominated. On accepting the nomination, Daniels said young people hold the key to the future of the Clecho people.
Very important for them to go out and get educated, wherever that might be, and hopefully they do come back and be part of that government structure.
Incumbent Grand Chief Lafferty said being Clecho is tied to remembering traditions.
We're identified as a Clecho person, and just the knowledge and the information that we share amongst a group here, and strong rooted in our cultural way of life, our language. I'm fluent in my language as well, and I do try to spend a lot of my time out on land, out on lake, involving the elders as well.
The election for the Clecho Grand Chief takes place on September 29th. There are no other positions on the ballot. Current Clecho members aged 18 and over can vote in person in Bechico, Wequity, Wati, Gamity, and Yellowknife on Election Day, with advanced online and mail-in voting options also available. Bruce De La Cruz, APTN National News, Yellowknife.
Thanks, Bruce. That's all the time we have for your APTN National News for this Tuesday. It's been a very busy day, and there is much more over on our website, aptnnews.ca, and our APTN News YouTube page. Creason will be here at 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow with your first look at the day's news. I'm Dennis Ward, Marcy McGuitch. Thanks for being with us. Stick around for an encore presentation of Face to Face. That is up next. Have a great night.